Okay, so we have most humorous.
Most humorous.
We have
most surprising.
Most surprising.
And miscongeniality.
Miscongeniality.
I mean, just for me thinking miscongeniality, we've got, like, okay, Danielle, I see you. You, girl, you stepped up in here and you were like, no, I got all y'all bitches and y'all going to follow me.
Well, okay. It's, okay, for me, I can almost instantly just tell you exactly, like, what games fit into each category. Most humorous was the Lesbian Cat Wars.
Totally in agreement.
Lesbian Cat Wars was hilarious. We were giggling the entire time.
So
we were
good.
laughing. We were into it. The cat cards were amazingly adorable. They made you want them so badly. You became covetous over specific cats.
So good.
And then you wanted to hold on to them. I mean, it was like you... I hadn't played a game in quite some time where I wanted these things more than anything else. Like, it was, you know, it was the reason for being. And I love this whole thing with, like, the event cards and the favors and the relationship, and, like, you're imagining this fake relationship as you're playing the game and kind of playing it out through the favors and stuff. Like, I mean, it actually kind of balanced, like, the sort of play that you have in a relationship of, like, well, I did this really shitty thing, but then I did you a favor. You know, and, like, the balance of sort of, like, nagging and sort of...
System-wise, they need to kind of... Like, so past this, like, to continue that as a game, like, we kind of need to streamline, like, how it plays. I was a little confused when we were getting towards, I guess, the end of it.
Yeah.
Which, it's kind of like, but does the game, like, what are the conditions that actually cause this game to end? Like, they would need to smooth that out, because it's like, well, we're out of cat cards now, so there's this.
Yeah.
Like, but then favors are running out. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But still, no. Like, humorous, I couldn't agree with you more. So then that means
the events were hysterical.
Hysterical.
Oh my god.
And so, I mean, that means that you and I are in total agreement.
Yeah. Yeah. The matchmaking was the most surprising because you set it up and it seems like it's this regimented affair and it's kind of mystical. You're like, I don't know really what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And you're feeling kind of nervous playing it and it's a little sort of weird. And then as it opens up and you start exploring the sort of like sexual fluidity that's going on and these like this web of relationships that's happening,
that game
becomes deeper.
That game hinges on the ability of someone to tell, of the crowd to keep the story going.
Yes.
So when they were in here earlier, like, describing it, I was like, okay, you guys kind of have, you don't have a difficult idea.
Yeah.
Because a matchmaking, like, you have things that you could pull from. But, I'm like, they have, like, the super, like, just ridiculous idea. Like, what are you guys going to do? And they're like, we want to make it kind of like Carcassonne. And they totally did that.
They actually made Carcassonne.
For both better and worse. Because it's a little, like, their game is a little obtuse at first. Because I saw you guys really struggling.
We were struggling
with it.
Trying to figure it out. It took, you know what though? It only took 2 rounds.
No, you guys.
It only took 2 rounds,
totally settled
and then that was it.
Yeah.
And then it was just like the super focused affair of, if you've ever played something like Settlers of Catan, where you sit there fixated on the board of like, how can I make this work? You know, I mean, like that's kind of like what takes over, and the puzzle element of it is so strong. I mean, it feels like this could be a digital game. Like this could be
a thing. Like totally
this could be a thing with like randomly generated names and attributes. And the fact that they use a dice roll to pick all of the attributes of the character for each of the side was brilliant.
Totally random.
And
well, like their whole idea of like, you know, some sort of customizable thing, you know.
Oh yeah, for even the live game? Because that would be hysterical because you write all your friends on cards and stuff. It's like, oh, you totally slept with him. Ah.
Well, I can totally see it as, you know, like, you know those Lego games? Like those Lego board games that it's like you just like stick the letters on there in like a little Lego thing.
Totally.
You snap the individual tiles together.
It was so funny.
No, I mean, it's surprising because when they started describing it, I was like, okay, no, you guys totally did, like, well, this is crazy. And then when you guys were playing, I'm like, oh, like, what you guys have accomplished in this span of time is crazy. Like, surprising, like,
because it's intricate. And then also, okay, so there's 2 things that have saved the game. One being the fact of the gradual reveal, because seeing an entire board of that matrix of relationships from the start would be mind-boggling. Like, you would not be able to wrap your head around it. It would be confusing the entire time. The fact that it gradually reveals, you get enough time to be able to like look and see how this game works, and then that completely saved it.
All right.
The other thing, though, is the fact that even how you flip the tile then determines the sort of rotation of the tile when it's revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you could have a different reveal depending on who actually flips the tile.
And how, yeah.
And how.
The end scoring is cumbersome. I will totally agree with him on that.
End scoring is cumbersome. I don't think that you could do it during the game.
But
then it also does follow the Carcassonne tradition of the final score.
Of the farms. Yeah. The final score. It's totally necessary, but I think that if this were a package game, they would need to find a way to streamline that in process. Because like Carcassonne does that. It's just like point thing, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Just count it all up. Totally surprised.
Yeah.
So, lesbian cat wars, the fucking hysterical.
Lesbian cat wars gets hysterical, like the funniest, and then most surprising, absolute matchmaker.
Now,
because
miscongeniality. I'm not picking a game because I feel that each team has their miscongeniality.
Yeah.
Because Emma rolled up in here, like today. She's like, you know what? I showed up because this sounded like fun.
Yes.
And she was really timid at the beginning of the day and kind of worried, and then when she saw people playing her game. She was totally giving feedback. She led that presentation.
She really did.
I was, even Patrick was standing there. I'm not bashing Patrick, but I'm just, she took the reins of that team.
And even the presentation was as humorous as her game.
Yes.
And the game totally reflects her personality as well.
I was just about to say, I can see so much, seeing her through the day, so much of her in that game. And then just on the other team, Danielle is their miscongeniality. That bitch rolled up in here and just told everybody what to do.
She totally took control of that team.
You know what? I'm looking at her like she's still here. She if she is not a manager of something, she's not doing it right.
Yeah.
Because she when she says something,
people
are like,
the whip.
yes.
Okay.
Well then, I think we have our decision.